When people think of royal travel, they imagine grand entrances, flashing cameras, and luxury jets waiting on private runways. But what if the reality is completely different? What if one of the most famous children in the world moves in total secrecy, unnoticed, unseen, and completely off the radar? Princess Charlotte, daughter of the Prince and Princess of Wales, lives a life that blends unimaginable privilege with strict privacy. While the world sees her smiling on palace balconies or during royal events, very little is known about how she travels behind the scenes. Unlike celebrities who broadcast their every move, royal children are protected by layers of secrecy. Every journey is carefully planned, routes are changed at the last minute, and even airport staff may not know who is passing through. But why all the secrecy? The answer lies in a mix of security, tradition, and strategy. As one of the youngest and most valuable members of the British royal family, Charlotte's movements are tightly controlled to avoid attention and ensure her safety. And here's where it gets even more interesting. She doesn't always travel like royalty. In fact, sometimes her trips look surprisingly ordinary. From hidden flights to disguised arrivals, this is the secret world of how Princess Charlotte travels, far from the public eye. You might assume that Princess Charlotte flies exclusively on lavish, gold-trimmed private jets. And yes, private aviation is often part of royal travel, but it's not always as flashy as you'd expect. In many cases, the royal family uses discreet aircraft that blend in rather than stand out. These planes are often unmarked or registered under government operations, making them nearly impossible to identify. Why? Because visibility equals vulnerability. Instead of announcing departures, flights are scheduled quietly. Airports may only receive minimal notice, and sometimes the plane itself is parked far from public terminals. There are no red carpets, no photographers, just precision and privacy. Even more surprising, the royals occasionally fly commercial. That's right, on certain trips, they've been known to board regular passenger flights, sitting in carefully secured sections. For Princess Charlotte, this means her travel experience can shift between ultra-luxury and surprisingly normal. One day she could be on a private jet, the next blending into a standard flight with minimal attention. But whether private or commercial, one thing never changes. Security is always the top priority. And what happens when she lands? That's where things get even more secretive. Landing is where the real operation begins. When Princess Charlotte arrives at a destination, everything is designed to avoid attention. Instead of walking through crowded terminals, she is often escorted through private entrances, hidden corridors, or restricted airport zones. In some cases, vehicles are positioned directly beside the aircraft, allowing her to leave without ever stepping into public view. But it doesn't stop there. Routes from the airport are rarely straightforward. Convoys may split into multiple directions, decoy vehicles are sometimes used, and travel times can change instantly. This ensures that even if someone is watching, they won't know which car she's in. Hotels and accommodations are also handled with extreme discretion. Entire sections may be reserved, or staff may be limited to only those who absolutely need access. To the outside world, it might look like Princess Charlotte simply appears at a location, but behind that moment is a carefully orchestrated plan involving dozens of people. And yet, despite all this secrecy, there's one surprising twist. Her travels aren't always about luxury. Sometimes they're about giving her a normal childhood. Despite being one of the most famous children on Earth, Princess Charlotte's parents have made a deliberate effort to give her a grounded upbringing. That includes how she travels. Rather than always staying in ultra-exclusive environments, the family sometimes chooses quieter, more low-key destinations. Places where Charlotte can run, play, and explore without constant attention. There are moments when her travel experience looks almost identical to that of any other child. Car rides, simple outings, and family-focused trips. This normal life strategy is intentional. Growing up in the spotlight can be overwhelming, and the royal family understands the importance of balance. By blending security with simplicity, they aim to give Charlotte a childhood that feels real, not staged. But maintaining this balance isn't easy. It requires careful planning, trusted teams, and constant awareness of potential risks. Every normal moment is still protected by an invisible layer of security. And as she grows older, these travel strategies may evolve, becoming even more sophisticated. Because the higher her profile rises, the more valuable secrecy becomes. Behind every trip Princess Charlotte takes is a level of security most people will never experience. We're talking about highly trained protection officers, advanced surveillance techniques, and real-time intelligence monitoring. Every destination is assessed before she arrives, and potential risks are carefully analyzed. Security teams often arrive ahead of time to inspect locations, plan escape routes, and coordinate with local authorities. Communication is constant. Teams stay connected through secure channels, ensuring that any change, no matter how small, is instantly addressed. Even the smallest details are considered. Who serves the food, who cleans the room, who has access to certain areas, everything is controlled. For Princess Charlotte, this means her travel world is both incredibly safe and incredibly structured. But here's the fascinating part. Most of this happens completely out of sight. To the public, it may look effortless. A simple appearance, a quick trip, a smiling wave. But behind the scenes, it's a carefully managed operation designed to protect one of the most important young figures in the world. And this raises one final question. What does the future look like for her travels? As Princess Charlotte grows older, her role within the royal family will likely expand, and so will the complexity of her travels. With increased visibility comes increased responsibility, and that means even more advanced security measures, more strategic planning, and potentially more international trips. Technology will also play a bigger role. From enhanced tracking systems to AI-driven security analysis, the way she travels could become even more sophisticated in the years ahead. But one thing is unlikely to change: the balance between privacy and duty. Princess Charlotte represents the next generation of royalty, one that must navigate a world of constant attention while maintaining a sense of normalcy. Her secret travel methods are more than just logistics. They're a reflection of how modern royalty operates in a digital age. Invisible, controlled, and incredibly precise. So the next time you see a photo of Princess Charlotte at a public event, remember this: what you're seeing is only a small part of the story. Because behind every appearance is a hidden journey, one that the world was never meant to notice.